What's going on, everybody? It's our Mike, and a lot of you have voiced your issue with your problems with the TicWatch Pro 5 as well. As you guys know, I have made a video about my situation with the TicWatch Pro 5. Obviously, my unit won't even charge now. This thing is like beyond dead, and I know it's not the charger because I can put it on the Enduro and not have any issues. I've used different chargers. You guys have seen in the previous video about a way to get a hold of Mobvoi and talk with them, and they would give a discount code, which is what they did with me. Gave me a percentage off so I could buy the Enduro. And yeah, if anybody has figured out a way to officially get this unit to fire back up again, or even a way to factory reset it, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Now, with that said about the Pro 5, and again, still nothing, won't boot, won't load. I can hold buttons as long as we need to. Nothing happens with this sucker. It's just not budging. I'll have to figure out how to properly dispose of it without it becoming e-waste. I want to take it in for recycling or something. But you all know I have the, as I mentioned, the Enduro, which was my upgrade, and this is a factory band. I'm still rocking my green and black, which has held up well. I do have a blue band too to use with it, but maybe that'll be another day. This watch is still working well. I literally charge this thing maybe, as you can see right now, I like to record late in the evenings. I maybe charge this thing once a week. As you can see, we're getting ready to go to bed here soon and throw this sucker on the charger, and by the morning it'll be good to go, so I'll miss one night of tracking sleep. But with tracking in mind, I have also had my Pixel Watch 2 as well, and a lot of you got this free when you did pick up a new Pixel device. This came with it as a freebie, and then anybody that had to buy it afterwards had to pay a pretty penny. And this is the smaller version. Now that they're on the 3, the 3XL version, are much bigger and maybe a little longer battery life, but still not as good a battery life compared to the Mobvoi devices. And with this watch, I do like all the assistant features that we still get to keep and use, and the upgrade to Gemini is on the way as well. I like all the home abilities and being able to see the screenshots and live feeds of what's going on at the house over the watch. That's stuff you can't get with Mobvois, but my only downside has been battery life. Needing to charge this thing quite a bit. Getting the notifications and alarms and all that stuff is great, but for me, battery life is a big thing. And with all that in mind, let me shove these aside. I do have something else here, and this is something that, again, I have been sitting on some stuff lately. This is something from back on 2/16 is when I placed this order, and it had been sitting and sitting and sitting. And I figured, well, it's a good evening. Let's go on ahead and crack into this and see what we have here. So I'm using a nice good old school knife here, and this is for my Mac tools. So cuts through that sucker like butter. Let's chop our other side. Not like my normal Makita that I use. And inside we have a watch, for sure. Because why wouldn't it be a watch if we're talking about watches in a watch video? So we have the Atlas. So this is Mobvoi's latest and greatest, and by now this is approaching almost a year old, believe it or not. Well, I can't say that, my bad. I want to say the Atlas is probably about 6 months old. Mobvoi did have a good sale going on back when you saw that ship date of 2/16, and I could not pass it up, and I had some money put aside for an upcoming watch just in case. And like I said, I have always enjoyed my Mobvoi products, so I have an Atlas, and we are going to go on ahead and crack into it. Okay, so for cracking into the Atlas here, we're going to use a good old little safety blade where you can barely make out that little blade that comes out, that tiny. That way we're not making a big old cut through the box, creating any damage. If they'll even do it, it's almost nothing. I don't even think I even got grip on that. Okay, so now if you can find an Atlas on sale and you want to give another Mobvoi watch a try, then I say go for it. It is, again, another incremental bump up compared to the Enduro. Obviously our design has changed a little bit on the device itself, the way the front of the watch will look. And just like our others, good packaging, pretty basic. We are getting 2 loops here on the band. Obviously, as we have seen here, these bands, even though these are silicones, they have changed in pattern, and they're still sticking with black lugs as well. This one actually feels like a titanium metal of some type, not so much plastic. This one definitely has more of that beefy look, going towards look of like a Garmin and some rugged watches for sure, because obviously the Atlas is made for the adventurous. And we got all the sensors we recognize, same charging connector we recognize. We can see we have our on-off pusher, and then we also have our crown that acts as our menu, and we have our microphone on this side, and not seeing any other actual pushers. So now let's go ahead and get into the box. We will have our charger, should be in here, and we should have instruction manuals here. And yep, there's our charger. And as always, the charger has not changed, stays the same. So if you continue to buy Mobvoi watches like I have, you will have plenty of extra chargers if you need them. For me, I have actually kept my charger, my spare, goes into my camper. That way I have one for when the mountains call us. We are good to go. So let's throw that aside. Let's see here, just to prove, as you have all seen, I have put the new charger away. Let's pull out our current and hook this on up and see if she'll boot, or at least show us some charging. Yep, TicWatch. Yep, she's loading. It is loading up, so tells you it's not, like I said, not my charger that's causing the issue. Definitely something within that TicWatch, the OG TicWatch. Alright, so I'll give her a minute and we'll let her boot. Okay, so when it comes to comparing the Atlas to the Enduro here, we are looking at the exact same sapphire glass on both watches. Obviously different design, still the same chipset, still the same RAM, same battery life, still a 628 milliamp hour cell inside, and obviously multi-day battery life. None of that has changed. Software wise, might be a little more polished on the newer model, and obviously we have heat maps on the Atlas versus we don't get that on the Enduro. And on my Enduro, I still have not gotten any new software update or main OS update. So if we go into the settings here and we go down to system and select system updates, we are currently running version 13 on November 1st of 2024. And that is the last time I've gotten an update on this. So if there are new updates out there, again, leave them in the comment section below and how you managed to get a hold of it. So Now we compare that to what we get on Pixels. Obviously, Pixel Watch, we are going to get every update when it comes to security patches every month, and then obviously major OS updates come directly from Google. So just food for thought. All right, so we are back. It is officially the 9th, so it is a day later and $1 more in the pocket. In other words, I had work today, so I'm getting to this after hours, obviously, as we can see by the time. And as you can tell, the Enduro is on the wrist. Or not the Enduro, the Atlas is on the wrist. It's going to take me a minute to get used to that. And as for fit, it is exactly what I thought. Yeah, having to push your stick out a little more doesn't bother me. And I do like that our power button is more of an actual button now, like an actual pusher that you can tell. The rotating crown, definitely in good condition. I like how everything is working. As for the accent, it is what it is. It's nice to have a little red, and I like that they did put menu on here. And we have an arrow for power, and obviously nothing else around when it comes to other buttons on the watch. As you can see, I have taken the Enduro and put the factory band back on it, and I have it on the charger doing its last app updates. Both the Enduro and the Atlas here are running the same security patch, and I'm going to show you that here. So let's go into settings. Let's go down to system and system updates. We are looking at Android 13 security patch from November 1st of 2024. And that is the exact same as what I have here on the Atlas. So I can go to, I'll just do recent since I've done it recently. Go into the settings, system update, and same situation here. Android version 13, security patch update November 1st, 2024. That is where the Pixel Watch is steps ahead, along with, if you were to look at another Android watch, something that is a Wear OS style, I would say probably the Samsung watches. They are at times even further ahead than Google's Pixel Watch. So same thing, we'll go into our drop down, pull up our settings, and we will scroll down to system and system updates. That's where this is ahead. We are on Android version 15, security patch March 5th of 2025. So security wise, it is behind on a security patch, a few security patches, but definitely up to date on abilities, more software, up to date on the software than the Mobvoi watches are. But regardless, this has been and is a good watch. It's a little small, obviously, compared to what we got from Mobvoi. And obviously there are the bigger versions of this now. And I'm going to switch this back to the factory band as well. And you're probably wondering, all right, you got 3 functioning watches. What are you going to do with them? Like, Mike, why do you need 3 watches? I've always liked to try things out and test stuff. Obviously, since we cannot get the Pro 5 back up and running, I'm going to see about properly recycling this e-waste wise, because I don't want to just chuck stuff into the landfill. And then as for the Enduro and for the Pixel Watch, I don't want them just sitting collecting dust, being that they function. I actually have a friend and his wife that are in need of some smartwatches, and they have come from having Wear OS and from using Garmin's Phoenix series. And the Phoenix ended up breaking on my female friend, and my friend Joe, he's actually had a TicWatch as well. His ended up finally crapping out, and neither of them are looking at buying a new watch at the moment because they are being responsible with their money, and they are putting money towards other things that are more, how should I say, important on stuff. And it's not to say that I'm not being responsible with money, because I obviously have been able to save money and able to purchase things to do videos on, and I like to pay it forward in a way and make sure that this stuff goes to use. Obviously, like we said, with the ones that do crap out on us that go bad, yeah, that we'll have to figure out how to properly recycle. But everything else that functions still, I want to either turn around and give to Goodwill, make sure it functions and all the data is erased, and that way it can be used. Or for this case, for a few friends of mine that want to get back into having Wear OS on their wrists and being able to get text messages and get some basic notifications out of Android, I think these two watches will be great for them. But yeah, I'm gonna let them use them, and that way I can stick with Mobvoi. And my main reason of sticking with Mobvoi through all these generations of watches is just because of battery life. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, you should look at Huawei and you should look at OnePlus. And the situation with them, those guys no longer use Wear OS. And yeah, I could look at a Samsung watch as well, but even the Samsung watches, just like the Pixel watch here, they'll only last you for 2, 3, maybe 4 days, depending on if you really restrict down the abilities. And that's where I have liked Mobvoi, because I can basically get a full week of battery out of this watch and not need to change anything, really. I don't have to dumb down the watch to get that much life out of it. Now, obviously, if you're going to go out and camp and hike and be out in the wilderness, this Mobvoi series, Mobvoi's TicWatches, are the ones to go with on the Android side that allow you to get your notifications without having to install any other different apps besides just like the watch app. You'll still be able to use Google Messages on it. You'll still be able to get Google Maps on it. All the things that some of the other watches, you might not have those luxuries. So that's about it for this video. I know this has been quite a long one, and I'm going to end up crimping all these clips down, everything down to like a 1080p, because this is going to be quite a huge file. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or tips, especially when it comes to getting the older watches back up and running, please leave them in the comments section down below. I will link the watches, the main website for Mobvoi, the Pixel watch. I will link those sites in the description of the video. And I hope this was informative for you guys if you are looking at any of the TicWatches or even a Pixel watch, and look to making some more content here soon. I will chat with you all later. Have a great one.